crowded up here. There we are. I'd like to call this meeting, the Clay County Commission, to order. We will begin with our invocation. Teresa, if you want to come forward, please lead us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, I ask you to bless our commissioners with favor, grace, and wisdom and insight. Lead and guide them in the way they should go to make Clay County, Missouri a great place to live, learn, work, and play. Strengthen them as they lead with vision and virtue. I thank you for your provisions and your protections. And I just want to take a moment now for a moment of silence for us all to just have a few thoughts of what we're grateful for as we're coming into Thanksgiving week. We just thank you, Heavenly Father, for all that you've done for us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Nolte.
Here.
Commissioner Withington. Commissioner Lawson.
Here.
Commissioner Wagner.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Thompson.
Here.
Commissioner Carpenter.
Here.
Is there a motion to approve this evening's agenda? Commissioner Johnson.
Move to approve tonight's agenda.
Motion has been made for the approval of this evening's agenda. Discussion. Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Withington.
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson.
Yes.
Commissioner Wagner.
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson.
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
With that, we move on to public comments. Are there any members of the public who would like to address the commission on any subjects? Seeing none. Next is our consent agenda. Mr. Administrator.
Yes, good evening. We have 5 items on our consent agenda tonight. Our first one is approval, is 2025-342, approve invoice payments for Clay County from the period of November 8th through to November 14th of 2025. We have a total of 381 invoices totaling $636,113.22. The next one is 2025-344, approval of IFB number 129-25, term and supply agreement for snow removal services with Grass Action. That's through our facilities department. Our next one is 2025-345, approval of IFB number 128-25, term and supply agreement with Lawn Care Services, also with Grass Action, with our facilities department. The next one is 2025-346, approval of amendment number 1 with Tyler Technologies for term extension of lock-in load fee for our juror cards with the auditor's office. And our last one is 2025-347, approval of lease agreement with Kansas State Bank for the Mack semi-tractor purchase, which is a lease agreement with Nextron Truck Centers with our Road and Bridge Department. And that'd be it for our consent agenda tonight.
Commissioner Johnson.
Move to approve tonight's consent agenda.
Motion has been moved for the approval of this evening's consent agenda. Discussion. Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Withington.
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson.
Yes.
Commissioner Wagner.
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson.
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Next is our regular agenda. There is one item on this evening's regular agenda. That would be 2025-343. Mr. Administrator.
Yes, 2025-343, approval of invoice payments for our Clay County Prosecutor's Office from November 8th through November 14th. We have 16 invoices totaling $30,913.99 for your approval.
Commissioner Johnson.
Move to approve 2025-343.
Motion has been made for the approval of 2025-343. Discussion. Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Withington?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Commissioner Wagner?
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson?
I recuse myself.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Motion passes 5 in favor, 1 recusal.
Thank you. Next are discussion items. We have 2 discussion items. Mr. Administrator, I believe you have the first one, so if you would like to proceed.
Yes, our first one is a budget presentation, a budget overview for the 2026 budget. You also have your budget books in front of you. Those are our draft budget and our presentation of that. First of all, I just want to make mention that I thank for our staff that came in support tonight. It is definitely a team effort. Myself, I came on board end of June, early July timeframe, and we started meeting on the budget in August. Several meetings with each of the departments. I would say that we have a staff who's, along with Victor and his finance and audit staff, very aware of the budget itself, which helped me get on board and go forward with that one. From there, we've met with each department and come up with different scenarios that allow us to move forward. So I'll start from here. One of our first things is to look at our major priorities. One of the first things is to look at upcoming year. This year, one of the things I want to look at is your strategic plan. You had one in place since 2023, so we put in the budget to refresh that for this upcoming year. Next one is this is your first full year of a compensation and classification plan. That went in place, I think you guys were doing it in 2024, but this will be the first full year to see how that impacts your budget. This budget also funds a 2.7% COLA, as well as Municipal Economic Development Summit. That is something I spoke to you guys about before. What it is opportunity for us to bring in the different municipalities within our county, have them come to a event, allow them to speak about what they're currently doing, what they're looking forward to doing, and what they've done in the past to kind of give a report to you and build a rapport with the county and the commission. And then from there, we like to come from that standpoint and ask them what is it that they need as cities. It's something I've talked to several of the cities about already, more than willing to come and be a part of that. So we're going to be doing that in this upcoming year. Next one is World Cup 2026. I said earlier, 2026 has been talked about more than 2K to me. Every time you hear it, the past 3 to 4 years, you've talked about 2026, especially when it was told that they'll be coming our direction. So, of course, we want to be as part of that, and so we have some funding in the budget. You had it in there last year, but as well as continuation for us to be a part of that. I'll let you guys say that name. 250-year celebration, semi-quincentennial celebration. It's one of the things we'll be a part of this coming year. It'll be in the same time frame as the World Cup, around 4th of July. Many will be celebrating that within our county. And as we go through that, speaking of the strategic plan, we want to look at what we currently have in place. Your first one, you have your five pillars that you had before, and we're going to continue that in this upcoming budget. Safety and well-being, financial sustainability, economic opportunity, infrastructure, and employer choice. These are all items you're very familiar with. I've gotten to be familiar with as I come on board, and I can say that this budget will reflect that continuation. Organizational chart. There's no significant changes to that. The leadership is still the same regarding that one, but I wanted to make sure it's reflected that we're still working for the citizens of Clay County. The next one is your population. and your county ranking. As you can see, that the estimate is our population has continued to grow. And when you look at 2031 compared to 2001, significant growth overall for a county, which is what you want to look forward to. So when you look at your budget, you want to look, what does our population want to look like in the upcoming years? And this one here is a good trend to show us, also show us where our ranking is, because as we grow, other counties have grown as well. Assessed valuation. I've been in Clay County over 20 years, and I've seen the growth myself and been a benefit. If you're a homeowner of that, as in values, if you've sold a home in the past less than 10 years, you've definitely been a benefit of that. But when you look at 2013 compared to 2025, that has been not many places can say double in the size of the assessed value of a population. So that's not only reflects your population, but also reflects in your investment and those who want to make investment within your county. Next one is your proposed budget. This is just a quick rundown of what our budget looks like as far as countywide. You can see there operating revenues about a 2.81% increase around with your grants, your ARPA funds. You notice a decrease in that one. That's because this is the year that we have to finish those projects along with your bond funding and your total authorized. So for us, this shows that there is a change in revenues, which anytime your revenues increase, the estimated increase is a good thing. This one is just a pie chart of giving more detail of what I just spoken to regarding your revenues by the numbers. I want to really point out that sales and use tax number, 33% of your budget comes from that, which is a major part in comparison. And also, it's a good comparison to your fund balance. It's good to have a fund balance that's pretty close to what you have as far as what you have coming in with a major part of your budget, which is that sales and use tax. And that goes back to your financial stability that you have as a county. To break down that sales and use tax even more, this one here is revenue by the budget by the numbers. Here you have the general sales tax, your use tax, and then your law enforcement sales tax. And so when you look at the direct allocation of that, law enforcement wise, but 63% of that is going to your general fund. This one here looks at your reserves along with your expenditures. For us, again, reflects the ARPA funds and the bonds, but also the transfers and your reserves. So compared to what your expenditures are compared to your revenue, you're right on point. Now let's see where we put everything at. So you have the safety and well-being. We decided to use these 5 pillars as to distribute the funds to show that we're following the strategic plan and utilizing those funds to pursue the goals of the county. Here you see the safety and well-being is your largest portion. Your next one's your infrastructure. So the safety and well-being side, majority of that is going to personnel. Between your law enforcement and to other items regarding that one with your safety and well-being, that is pretty typical. You have quite a bit of personnel regarding that one between your juvenile services, the detention, the overall law enforcement department, that comes with the territory. The other one is contractual, allows us to be able to provide those services and others that we might need for that. This is putting in per fund. It goes back to the sheriff's office as well with the courts, emergency communications, capital side, and the prosecutors, and the opioid fund as well. just another way to break it down regarding your departments. As juvenile is 5.7 million, along with the prosecutor's office, 5.4 in courts. Well, there we had a couple of highlights that you'll see when you review your budget. Some different additional deputies, along with a vehicle replacement plan, detention maintenance, tasers. Same thing with the juvenile. We've done some improvements to a few of the homes. I know the girls' home has got some improvements, but we have more with the boys' home, with the restrooms, along with the Justice Center HVAC, other items regarding maintenance and upkeep for your facilities department. Your next one is your prosecutor's office, your paralegal, and some other items. We work closely with them on providing some services, but also some new employees that would help in their services. Next one is court. The Rainey Justice Center, one of the major ones that's been on your capital plan has been the replacement of the roof. It's not on this one here, but also you have a replacement of the detention roof is also within this budget. And your last one is emergency communications, which is that 911 fee that you have, utilizing that one to increase that department. Next one is your financial sustainability, personnel, along with your contractual, about even regarding that one. Shows you where those funds will be coming from for your budget. The next one will be the departments. It shows you with your IT and your assessor's department, along with your collectors. Those budgets are all pretty even, about 16 to 19% of the budget itself as far as this portion of financial sustainability. The other one is your purchasing department regarding this one too. Kind of highlight that you'll see more detail within your budget is radios for the towers, camera system upgrade that's been long-standing for a while, fiber for the road and bridge department, along with, we looked at some of the positions and where that we could look at some of those to be gone from a part-time to a full-time position, but still provided to where we already had the space in the budget, allowed us to be able to provide that position within this budget. Next one is administration. Again, going back to strategic plan and economic summit. And the other one is some upgrades to the election board, much needed with the new voting machines. This one is budget by funds. So going back to economic opportunities, you have your TIF and your general fund, but also you have your airport fund and your land trustee fund. So as far as departments with that one, a major portion of that one is your airport and your recorder of deeds. The other one is the TIF, which is what we provide. Speaking of highlights on that one, you'll hear a little bit more about Go North and our next steps on that one, but that campaign as well, and that partnership that we've been working on for quite some time. Along with the airport itself, roof replacement. As you can see, a roof replacement is not an inexpensive item, but it's a necessity, especially for your buildings, and as well as projects with the taxiway and the apron and electrical upgrades to keep it going at the airport. Your next one is your infrastructure. Contractual, you see the amount you have there is $14 million. That includes everything from our equipment to ongoing projects we may have. The major two portions of that are our Parks Fund and our Road and Bridge Fund, along with the Capital Road and Bridge Fund as well. Going by departments, Road and Bridge is about $21 million. Your Parks is about $9 million when it comes to the infrastructure projects. As well as facilities, it's about 3.9. Highlights on that one is increase in your street preservation program, equipment replacement, fencing, three projects, bridge projects that we've been working on, along with the road scoring software system will help with your outlay of your capital planning for future projects, and at least the own reclaimer, which is a good way to utilize your funds to provide the equipment needed for operations. Those are operations we do in-house, which is our chip and seal program. The other one's on park side. You have the trails along with ADA improvements, vehicle replacement, and as well as a pontoon boat. But also you have some leverage funding with your playground with DNR grant and the restroom upgrades. Facility-wise is energy management system upgrades as well as our annual maintenance program. We have a lump sum in your budget for annual maintenance to all of our facilities. So they do a good job of utilizing the funds where they can in order to try to keep these buildings up to par and be utilized for us as employees, but also for our citizens. So your last one is employer of choice. Personnel is something that I believe you as commission have talked before about being a place that people would like to not only stay in, but also come to. I can say that since I've been here, there's a lot of things you've done to show that, and we'll mention those in our highlights. Not only you have your health benefits fund, but also your general fund there. Benefits takes up quite a bit of that budget. Recruitment and retention, 2.7% COLA, which allows you to stay competitive, to stay with the inflation. Mid-year step increase, that's per your compensation and classification study. That is something that was part of that is new for many of the employees. The other one is first full year of compensation and classification. Also something that the $1.1 million that you covered as a county agreed to instead of passing that on to your employees. So there's a 0% increase for the employees. We also offer the training for our managers to give annual employee performance reviews. With that, the reviews are tied to the STEP. So those reviews will be completed, and if the budget passed, that STEP will be done mid-year for all the employees who rate well on their review. The other things that are included within that employer of choice that you do as ongoing is the Missouri loggers. You have the L6, which is a top one provided, and you do that as a 0% from the employees. It's all within the county, as well as CERT. You have a few new positions that we have in the upcoming budget. Most of those I mentioned a little earlier, but also opportunities to get new employees to help with not only those who are currently here, but also moving forward with each of those departments. So in your total operating budget, this is kind of give you more information about what was there before when we spoke earlier, but it breaks it down based off of the different expenditure areas. I think this kind of gives you a clearer picture. Most of your budget goes towards personnel, and that's it because we provide a service with the people that we have. This one here kind of gives you an idea where we are when it comes to our estimated beginning balance and how much we had to go into that, but your trend for your ending balance is about $47 million regarding your revenues and expenditures. Your last one here was looking at the revenue expenditures within the fund balance. Here that we show the trend is continuing to go up, which is a good thing, and along with expenditures is less than your revenues. So that is a plus for us overall as we continue to go in the right direction. For more detail, which you'll receive is our budget calendar. So December 2nd will be the general fund. Along with December 9th, the sheriff, assessor, and the Parks Department will be presenting. Each of our department heads and office holders will be doing it at that time. The other one is December 10th is in case we have an overflow. 15th will be our road and bridge and our 5-year CIP, and and maybe presenting the budget for a public hearing for our January 8th for final approval and adoption. Any questions?
Thank you, and thank you for the presentation, David. Just a couple of questions which could be answered whenever we get into the particular item on these dates, so it doesn't have to be today. One of the things that I've seen in the past is related to expected vacancies over the course of the year. And for those who have followed these meetings on this particular subject, I have a real love-hate relationship with that. With the idea that we have been able to show a structurally positive line over time simply because we have not filled all vacancies. And so my question, I guess, is, based on what you have presented, does that presume all vacancies have been filled, or do we still make assumptions related to vacant positions over the course of the next year?
We'll explain that more, but it does not go with that all vacancies have been filled,
Okay.
because we know at this time that they have not. But it does look at those departments who have a high tendency of getting those vacancies filled. And what it would look like as far as what we have to do going forward. I could tell you, the Sheriff Department, there's a detention proposal there that we'll have to look at going forward, because we have quite a few of our inmates that are housed outside, which is a cost to us. And we're trying to figure out what we can do to bring them back in and house them at our facilities, which would require us to have more personnel regarding that one. So the Sheriff Department speak more to that one, those items. So there's some things there that, as far as some of those additional positions, that would help with the services that they give.
Okay, well, my just going off of memory, I feel like the average of the budgets that I've seen have suggested kind of a consistent 20 to 22 positions that remain unfilled over the course of the year,
Yeah.
which has allowed us to be cash positive. So that's one concern. The other is just if you can go back, and I may have missed it, but I think you did give some explanation as far as fund balance coming in and what we expect. If I remember the slide you showed, we will expect to eat into fund balance, and fund balance will lower as we get towards the end of next year. Is that, did I look at that right? And I apologize. I think it was the one before this one.
Before this one? Okay.
The one before, I think. Yeah,
So yeah, we looked at the trend analysis on that one, so that's the one I was giving you the project at the end balance. But as far as the overall fund balance, we'll have more information for you on that one.
okay,
once we do it.
perfect. And then last thing, I believe it is pronounced semi-quincentennial. And some here know that I've been working with some volunteers in Clay County to do an effort. I'm pleased to see that you are bringing something forward. Look forward to hearing what the nature of that is, but my plea and request will be that we align whatever we are doing with what some of the other folks are doing, whether it is the various volunteer groups, which can include Clay County Archives. We've got Liberty and Gladstone that are doing some things as well. And so just to remind everyone that there are folks that have been working on their things for quite some time, and to the extent that we can align our efforts with all of theirs, I think that is to our advantage, especially to kind of cut through the clutter that will come as a result of all the World Cup stuff. So just a little request that I'll just throw out there.
And that's really what we're doing. The Parks Department is working with Smithfield regarding what they're doing as a celebration regarding it. So providing the funding in that sense. And then there's a few others that have reached out to us and asked if we'd be willing to participate. As mentioned, that same time frame is the same time frame as the World Cup.
Right.
So seeing how we can fit in to those different areas.
Yeah, just making sure we align. So
Yeah.
perfect. All right. Thank you, and thank you very much.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes, thank you. I want to focus real quickly on the top area of concern that we talk about, and that's safety. in our community, and I don't say this just because of my background in law enforcement, but I think government's job, and I've said this all the time, I think government's number one priority should be public safety. And public safety includes not only our sheriff's office, but also our prosecutor's office and all the support that goes with that, our IT folks that support those operations and stuff. But one of the first slides, it showed the growth in our population. By the way, I'm not asking for an answer from you tonight. I'm just some things that give me a heads up of what's going to come down the road I might ask about when we get to this in our special meetings. But just a spitball here, it looks like our population grew over the last decade by about 22%, just based off that chart you showed. So my concern is, and I've always said, if we're one of the fastest growing counties in the state, we should have one of the fastest growing sheriff's office and prosecutor's office in the state as well. And so I guess what I'm looking at, and I saw that you have 5 new deputies and a new assistant prosecutor added to the budget and some other positions, but I guess my concern is going to be, or my question is going to be, are we keeping up with that growth when it comes to public safety and our budgeted staffing levels? And maybe we are, I don't know, but that's when we come to that time in the budget where we talk specifics on the sheriff's and the prosecutor's office, I'd like to see if we're keeping up with the rapid growth that we see in the county, with our sheriff's office and our prosecutor's office. Also, and with that, and equipment needs, IT support, that kind of stuff that goes with that. On a different note, COLA, 2.7%. Is that just based on CPI? Where's that number come from?
CPI.
Just a standard CPI calculation that we normally do?
Yep.
Nothing above that, right?
No, that was just utilizing that and rounding up from there.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, go right ahead.
There you are. Sorry, quick follow-up. So we have the CPI, or we have the COLA that's across the board, but then also with the compensation, class compensation study.
To a step increase from there. And that would
Step
be mid-year.
increases in addition to the COLA.
In addition to the COLA.
Okay. And our goal is to eventually get all of our employees to that, at least 50% or 50th percentile, but we'd like to get maybe even higher than that.
Yes, and that's based on your compensation study. That was the
Yeah.
direction you got.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir.
Before I go to Commissioner Lawson, I want to follow up on one of the points made by Commissioner Johnson on the law enforcement, the prosecutor. I agree. If we are going to be growing, the good things are going to be growing, but unfortunately the bad things will be growing as well, and those involve some rather unpleasant facts. And I agree about the growth, but what strikes me is we should be looking at, and I assume this will be part of that presentation, how we are going to be steadily growing those particular areas as far as number of deputies and that sort of thing. And it seems to me that a steady, predictable growth of those allows for a better folding in of those employees into it, so that we don't get a whole bunch at once. So I think one of the ideas is that steady growth to where we can make sure we integrate all those officers and all those personnel in the prosecutor's office so that they are able to be as productive as possible quickly. Is that part of kind of what the general plan is to make these increases and I'm not trying to nail you down to future budget years, but are we looking at having similar increases in some of the out years as we go down the road?
Oh, well, I'll let them speak to more to that, the Sheriff Department. But anytime you make hiring, you want to look at that. Do you have enough employees to be able to train the person that's coming behind? So the succession planning is what we look at whenever we're going forward for that. Not only in their case, but also in the case of your leadership. I mean, one of the things we have here is that when you pass your when we went from you're elected to appointed in several of your positions. At that time, many of those positions were elected. So at that time, you saw the turnover maybe every 4 years, if not whenever that. So now you have an appointed person in that position. So now what do you have to do in order to make succession planning for that position as well? So there's several positions you have to look at regarding that one, that as we phase in to create opportunity for someone to train the next person behind them. Also law enforcement is a very good example. You don't want to overload. I think that's what you're trying to get at, as far as providing the amount of weeks of training that you need, because that staff would have to be dedicated towards that training. Yes, that's something we'll have to look at as we go forward.
So I look forward to hearing more about that, exploring that more as we make not slow, but certainly steady growth, and we are able to do that in a way that will enhance the performance of the personnel. Commissioner Lawson.
Thank you. When we do look at growth, I think something we want to keep in mind is when you see the counties growing, we're probably in the unincorporated portion, the smaller growth area. Look at Liberty, look at Smithville, some of these areas are growing. And the other thing we're seeing is that when you have a area that's going to be taken over by the cities, they watch for whatever high growth is going to be in an area, and then they jump in there and grab that area, whether the people that live there want it or not, and then they can go ahead and grow subdivisions left and right with smaller portions, like an acre per home versus what we have set up in our comprehensive plan. And I don't know, and we don't need to discuss it right now, but as we go along, I'd like to know what right we as a county have when there is an area that we know people prefer to stay in the unincorporated, but yet these cities are coming in and taking that area over. So further down the road, I'd like to investigate how can we help those people if they don't want to be annexed in, so that we maintain the growth of the county the way that we did the comprehensive plan. So it grows properly, but not overgrows and takes up the beautiful farmland and everything else that we'd like to keep that little bit of a rural touch to Clay County. So, that's something I think we need to look at carefully, is how we can protect our area from annexation. I'd like to see something done on that vein.
I appreciate that point, by the way. There's going to be a conference this weekend, and one of the things I'm specifically going to be reaching out to are some of the other counties here in the state and see how they've tackled that particular problem. We do have next year, of course, is a year for us to revisit the charter. One of the options might be to be looking at that. I can't say what we would do because I don't have my arms around what that particular procedure would be, but I do think it's something we need to be exploring. And I appreciate you bringing that up because it's something that's concerned me as well. So if we can start looking at solutions perhaps other counties have come to, maybe that'll help inform us as to where we should be going. Other questions or discussions?
All right, that's good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. You weren't up to KIPP standards as far as all the bells and whistles and all the curtains and the fades, but the information was certainly first rate. Thank you very much for that. That brings us to the second item under discussion. That would be a transportation update for Go North case. I will let you introduce it, I apologize. And then we will go to Commissioner Wagner, if that's okay. Please introduce the issue and we will go.
Yes, this evening, mentioned before about the Go North campaign. So a couple of things there. One of the things is looking at transportation opportunities and other items as far as the update. And I'll hand it over to Commissioner Wagner and kind of go from there.
Commissioner?
Thank you. And just for the record, I'll say I did notice some animation in your last presentation, so KIPP doesn't have the whole thing cornered yet. So this item is actually a follow-up to one that we had, a presentation that we had 3 months ago. I guess it's been about 3 months ago, when we talked about this concept of Go North and where it was at. And as you'll recall, this is a partnership between Clay and Platte counties to lead the Northland as far as the activities that will support the World Cup when it comes to Kansas City. As you'll recall, we had a great presentation from our visitors, our tourism director.
Megan.
And I don't know why she's still sitting there, because I'm going to call her up in a minute, but whatever. You'll recall, though, with all of the events that we were talking about, all of the efforts that Megan went through, the thing that was missing was transportation. There was not a transportation solution baked into that. And so, because I just love meetings and, love working with our staff, we've had a lot of conversation over the last 2.5, 3 months about an option that we might put forward under that Go North umbrella. And just to give a little flavor, and then I'll turn it over to Megan. And as a reminder, really, all of the transportation efforts that are going around World Cup do not contemplate how you circulate people through anywhere, other than to take them to venues where games are going on, to take them to Fan Fest. So when we talk about how can we maximize the effect of having potentially a couple 100,000 people in our area, or more, who knows what the number's gonna be, but how can our businesses, how can our organizations take advantage of that best? And so the idea that we want to bring forward to this body is to put that out to an RFP to see if we can get a good circulator solution for us, and by us I mean Clay and Platte County, and all those events, all those businesses. I'll note that we're not asking Clay County to foot that bill. Maybe we have a tiny piece of that bill as part of the coalition of the willing, but there are ways to monetize this where it does not have to fall on our backs or anybody else's particular back. But to get that process started, we gotta show that we are interested in this service. And because of the structure that we have with Go North KC, it seems like that structure is the best structure to put it out. So with that, I'll turn it over to Megan for the 90% of the things I didn't say.
10%. You did well. Megan Salfeld, Clay County Marketing and Tourism and Communications Manager. And Commissioner Wagner did a wonderful job. I only have a few things to add to that. First and foremost, the goal of Go North KC has been unifying the communities. So what better way to do it in a very physical sense is by unifying them with a transit route. We do have some indication that there will be stops within the Northland that the KC 2026 team is going to be responsible for. So for us to be able to tie into those makes absolute sense, and it'll be vital for us to get people from those stops into our communities. They are planning several stops within the region, and so we've been in communications with their team, and we're looking for the best ways to tie into that and to then again circulate those folks within our areas to get them into our communities, and then to the activations that we're planning for next year. So we think that this is very vital for our efforts. We think it's great for our locals, great for our visitors, should help in reduction of congestion when we're talking about all these people coming into the area. It should support our safety and security by having fewer of those folks on the road, especially folks who are maybe not from here and know our laws. So we're hoping that we can put together this RFP and get some great proposals in that we can then, much like Commissioner Wagner said, work backwards from that endpoint and say, okay, what can we cover with potential commercial sponsors? What can we cover with potential fairs? What does this look like? How often is it going to run? What are the stops? And really taking a very targeted approach to this that makes sense for our community, and allowing the vendors to come to us and say, based on our data and our research, we feel like this is a good fit for you. Here's some options, good, better, best, and then build out backwards from there and say, okay, if we have X amount of communities involved in this and we can break it down, we're looking at this could really work for everybody. So that's the goal of this RFP, and we're looking to get it out quickly. FIFA's moving. FIFA has some big announcements coming up, so I don't know if you're aware, December 5th is when 42 of the 48 teams who are in the tournament will be announced. So once that happens, we foresee the ball rolling very quickly. There's a lot of planning that's going to happen after that point. That's some critical information. Once that's announced, then you're looking at finding out information for the schedule and the times of the games. And then thereafter, within a certain window, you're looking at who's going to be assigned which base camps. So we do propose that we get this out next week and that we have a relatively shorter window, but still reasonable within our means of our purchasing team and what they recommend to us, but that we really get the ball moving on this. So we wanted to come in front of you today and present it and see if we have any questions to answer.
And I might just end by saying the ability to move at this time is so important because the availability of vehicles is just dropping precipitously by the day because everybody's trying to figure out their transportation solution. And I think the reality is our colleague, Commissioner Withington, does not have enough hours to drive the Uber routes that are going to be necessary, right? Hope you don't mind me saying that, but he will try. But to also say those ride-sharing businesses and apps, if we hit the numbers that people say are going to come into Kansas City, it's just not going to be enough. And so to be able to get on top of that and at least to see what would it take, I think that's what we're asking for today. And so no commitments that I'm asking for from this body, no promises that would be made to anybody, but merely to be able to put the RFP out on behalf of the entire group under that Go North KC umbrella and just see what we get back. So I'll stop there because I know there's some questions.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yeah. So when will we know who's coming and when they're coming? What was the date?
So December 5th is when FIFA will be announcing, it's 11 a.m. on December 5th. We will learn 42 of the 48 qualifying teams in the tournament.
Okay. And I do want to make sure that we allow people that are coming in, that we don't forget about our people a little bit further north, like, Liberty, Excelsior, and all that. They're all excited about it as well. So we want to make sure that we include them in there. One of the things, there may be all kinds of regulations why this can't happen, but when will the first, just ballpark, when will we'll see our first game played, wherever it may be up here?
June 11th.
Huh?
June 11th.
All right. So if the schools, everybody's out of schools, why couldn't we contract with the schools to use their buses?
I know that
and
answer,
have,
I think that there are people exploring all of the options, and it's not to say that that's not an option that will be explored, but putting out this RFP will give those vendors who have the ability to tap into all the various channels for vehicles, it'll give them the ability to take it and run with it in whatever way they see fit.
yeah, because if it's going to benefit Kearney financially, then it helps the schools, and it's kind of a
Summer school, where's summer school?
well, yeah, but not like, so if there were some, but anyway, I just thought about that. And as far as partnering, as far as the money goes, this is a one-shot deal. And if we don't take advantage of it, I don't want to put us in debt to do this, that's for damn sure. Because we've got roads that need to be fixed and all kinds of other things. But if we can see a great return on our investment to the citizens, this is not too bad an idea if we're partnering and not carrying the load on our shoulders,
I was just going to answer a couple of the things, or maybe I'll answer one and maybe Megan, you can answer the other. So for those of you who know my wife, in addition to being on the North Kansas City School District Board, she works for HNTB, which is helping on the transit planning for FIFA. They have already been investigating the school districts, and so that's been conversations that have gone on with them, I think starting 6 months ago. So that is that is being contemplated with the overall transportation load. I don't know where it sits currently, but I know that has been going on, just to let you know. To the other concern that the commissioners brought up, Megan, I don't know, because we've had 6 watch parties and locations, can you say those locations?
So we are looking between 6 and 7 watch parties, and they're shared between the Clay County side and the Platte County side. I would like to wait just a little bit longer to share those because we want to make sure that everyone is on board, and I've got the green light from all of our municipalities. But we have great representation on both sides, and we have spoken with any of the communities that aren't hosting a watch party but are very near. We've already been in discussion with them on, maybe we can do another little leap transit-wise between their city and the city hosting that watch party that is closest to them. So we are not forgetting about some of the cities that are a little bit further out. We want to include everybody, and that truly is the goal.
Yeah, and that's the point that I wanted to make sure was made, was that if it's a Northland thing, then everybody has a shot to be a part of this. So, but I leave the details and what can be said to Megan. So
Coming very soon, yes.
Thank you.
We're on the cusp of making the big announcements as to when and where all of the watch parties are. And some of the cities have given us the green light, so we can share those, but really, truly, until all of them do, I hate to put out a partial list.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Thank you. First of all, thank you for all the work on this. I mean, all the tourism stuff in general, but certainly I know this is a big individual component piece, and thanks to Commissioner Wagner as well. So just so I understand, the idea here is that we put out the RFP, and then if we get something that we like, we go with it, but we have the option of, if nothing comes in that meets our standards, then we just don't. That's the idea.
Correct.
Well, to me, that seems like a no-lose situation. You put out the RFP, see what we get back, and if something is adequately appealing, along all the lines, then we can make the decision to go for it at that time. So that makes a lot of sense to me. I'm curious, how do you envision? What would in just in broad strokes, an example of a successful RFP look like in terms of what we would want out of them? So that there's that, and then sort of relatedly, you mentioned getting non-taxpayer based funding sources. Sort of what would be envisioned, broad strokes, how that would work.
yeah, so I could take a shot, and then
Go ahead.
the two who know things can see what I left out. So I think what we would envision, based on the conversations we've had, is look at the financing under 3 buckets. So let's say what comes back is $1 million to do this over the course of 6 weeks, and I'm just making up that number. What I think we would be looking for then is, what do we think of that $1 million would come from fares, because it wouldn't be free. I mean, you're gonna pay for transportation no matter what you do, but the idea is that this transportation would be more convenient, therefore that's why you would pay the fare for it. So fares would be a component. Then there's a sponsorship component that I think we would be looking for as part of that RFP, whether it is sponsorship they would go get, or if someone within this coalition of Go North would be responsible for. An item I would say within that is, because FIFA is so tight with their sponsorships, I mean, they can't sponsor this and all of that, but those who can't get into FIFA may have an interest in sponsoring something like this, because then they have an association. So that's your second bucket. Then the third bucket is really whatever's left. And then at that point, that's a conversation with what I would refer to as the coalition of the willing, those jurisdictions, which could be counties, cities, whatever, who want to make up the difference. And at this point, who can say what that is? But if you take that $1 million example and you say, okay, here's $300,000 that would not be covered by sponsorships or fares, then how do you divvy up the rest of that, right? And then at that point, there'd be a conversation with us and everybody else of, okay, if you want this is what your component of that is going to be. But I think, generally speaking, that is, from a financial standpoint, what I think we would like to see come back. And if I've left anything out, I'll leave it to the two of you.
No, I think that takes in consideration. The other one is, that when you start to look at something with this magnitude, you start to look at sponsorships, images that might be on vehicles with marketing, to see what that looks like as well. You mentioned that too, about going out to get that sponsorship. So I think that's a component that would not typically be something we would look at, but with this situation, we would.
Yeah, and again, there could be a scenario where the provider of the service goes and gets that, and there could be a scenario where, again, the collective we would do that. But I think that's part of the conversation that we would have based on the responses to the RFP. But the bottom line of that is it's diversifying how you pay for the service so that it is as minimal as possible as it is to us. Yeah.
Very well said. I don't really have much to add to that.
Thank you. So that very helpful on the funding side. So back to just like the mechanics of how the actual process would work. So successful, vendor, we're all satisfied. We move forward. What would be like how we're talking individual cars? Like what are we talking about in terms of the actual methods of transportation?
So I think that's what we would expect to hear back in the RFP. I mean, there's certainly the school of thought of, like with the ATA model, you go ask for how many 40-passenger buses can you get, but then there's also that school of thought that says, well, you may want to mix between larger vehicles and smaller vehicles to do that last mile. And I think what we're proposing is let's let the market decide what they suggest, and then the collective we can decide does that option make sense based on pricing, deliverables, that kind of thing. So I don't think we're necessarily going to tell the world, here's the system you have to give us. It's merely, here is what we expect, here are our goals with this, give us back a plan that meets those goals and a price that's associated with it.
Yeah. And the key word is circulator. I mean, because when we look at the transportation that's going to be provided as part of the World Cup, because where the stadium is, where we're used to going to go park when it's 80,000 fans at Arrowhead, I'm sorry, High. Now it's going to be 4,000 is what they told us can park there. So they're going to have sites off-site where they'll have people parking and then getting transferred in. Well, of course, everyone's not going to be going to the game. So how do we get them circulated within our counties, within our areas, to get them to the areas of business and opportunity for us in the county?
Yeah, no, love it. But we have a pretty open mind in terms of we'll let the applications come in. We'll see if something looks like it makes sense, and then we'll go from there.
Yes, we have outlined with parameters we're looking for, but we've given them a lot of leniency to come back and provide us with what they think is the best fit for the model that would work in the Northland.
Cool. I dig it. Seems like a good idea to me, especially just, we have an easy out if nothing comes in that we don't like. And the idea of trying to find non-taxpayer-based ways to pay for it makes a lot of sense to me. So yeah, good idea. Like it. And I would say around here we do call it Arrowhead Stadium still. So we'll keep Arrowhead, hopefully. Thanks.
Are there any other commissioners wishing to comment or ask questions? Commissioner Wagner, would you like to sum it up for us?
Well, it's about 7 o'clock, so I'm not going to say much. So basically, if you are okay with this course of action, then I would just simply ask to allow staff to go forward, put that RFP out, and let's see what we get.
I think, just quick head shakes, I think consensus of the commission is to go forward along those lines. So thank you. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for, Megan, for what you've done, and of course, Damon and all the other staff members who've worked. This is part of why we're going to, I think, have a successful event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That brings us to County Administrator comments. Mr. Administrator.
Yes. First of all, I hope everyone have a happy Thanksgiving next week. We will not be having a meeting next Thursday. I will have a meeting, but we'll be at a table. No one got that. So our next meeting will be December 4th. From there, that'll be it for me tonight.
All right. That brings us to Commissioner comments. Commissioner Carpenter, let's start with you if you don't mind.
There we go. Thank you. Well, I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving next week as well. You know, I was heartened today watching some of the images of former Vice President Dick Cheney's funeral service, watching people of all backgrounds, different political views come together and peacefully and positively coexist and celebrate the life of our former Vice President. You know, I think it can just be a reminder that it's perfectly okay to have different opinions about things and to have strong disagreements about all kinds of things. Obviously, he, during his time of service, was a polarizing figure to many. And yet, that's the beauty of the country. That's the beauty of the democratic process in which we get to hash out our differences and elect folks. And we have terms, and then we have another round of elections, and on and on and on and on it goes. It's a beautiful system. And what I want to encourage, once again, is for everybody to view the system as valuable, view the other people who participate in the system with us as fellow Americans who are decent people who just want the best for their country, even if they have different opinions. And want to once again call for that type of national unity to be something that we pursue. What I continue to see a lot in politics these days are people escalating, both in rhetoric and action, things that cause disunity. And we have too much of that, and if we're not careful, we'll have too much. So I was pleased to see, like I said, leaders of our country come together today, and we got to remember that that's a thing we can do. And I look forward to celebrating next summer the semi-quincentennial, 250 years of the greatest country in the history of the planet. Not too bad. Let's keep it going. Thanks.
Commissioner Thompson?
I will keep it just very simple this evening. Hope everyone has a really safe, don't fry your turkeys, stay back, don't do that frozen. Have a safe, happy Thanksgiving, and I look forward to seeing everybody back in December, where we're going to spend a lot of really great quality time together doing budget. So.
Commissioner Johnson? Commissioner Wagner?
Well, first of all, I want to echo my colleagues' sentiments on Thanksgiving. I'm certainly thankful for the decision you just made like 3 minutes ago, and I continue to be thankful for the role that I have here. But I also feel the need to announce that I will not be running for re-election next year, and I decided I better mention that now because I know some of that's out there, and I just want to bring some certainty to that and also give some time for folks who may be thinking this is a great job where I can look at books this big, that they can have their opportunity. But as Commissioner Thompson just mentioned, with quality time, you still got quality time with me for 13 months. And so I look forward to serving that out, but just wanted to make sure and verify what's going on and what is not. So thank you very much.
Okay. Commissioner Lawson? Oh, hold on a moment. Let me see. I'm afraid fat fingers are once again the norm. There you go.
Well, I'm shocked, and I will miss your weird sense of humor.
You got 13 more months of it.
I know, so let's, okay.
Well, more's coming. More's coming. Okay.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to thank Commissioner Withington because I saw his post about wishing all of us a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I thought that was great. I really appreciate the things that you do like that. I know all the staff and everyone does as well. And I'll join in and say that I love our staff so much, and you guys just are so amazing, and I hope that you have a fantastic Thanksgiving with your families. And then one last thing, well, a couple things. I had the great pleasure this weekend of seeing my youngest granddaughter get married. It was I so missed my last commission meeting. I wished I could have been here, but we were there celebrating, and it was wonderful. She was a gorgeous bride. She's marrying a really great guy, and so she's kind of, I don't have to worry about her anymore as much as I did before. She's still a police officer, and that is always a concern for our family. I also want to wish my husband a very happy birthday. Today's his birthday, and I'm here doing my duty like a good little girl instead of being at home celebrating. So very happy birthday to Jay Lawson Sr. That's all I got.
Commissioner Withington?
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope you guys have a good time with your family and friends. Also, several constituents have reached out to me about their tax bills. I was wondering if we could get a report or something sent to the entire commission on this. I know we allocated a ton of money to this. We were reassured by staff that there wouldn't be any software issues when we did this funding, and it seems like there was some software issues. So we'd like to get a timeline on from the time we allocated the money to what the vendors did to where the screw up was or where the problem happened, just so we know, because we spent a lot of time having a discussion on this, and we were assured by at least 2 people on staff that there would be no problem. And it seems like every year that I've been on this commission, there's been a problem with property tax, some mislabeling or sending out wrong stuff. So it's kind of frustrating. But yeah, if we get a report to the entire commission, I think that'd be great.
Okay, I'll have to get with you on that with the funding you're referring to. But also regarding that one too, that I'll give the information to the entire commission regarding that, as well as the current update is that the separation of the SB 190 will have to happen in order for us to move forward with the current billing, and that billing will be live in production tomorrow for those who want to go online to be able to look at that. But I'll give you an update regarding that, so we'll show you what's going on as far as moving forward regarding it.
I'll go ahead and bat clean up here, of course. One of the things I want to express is, and I'd seen this thought out there, and that is there seems to be a diminished role for Thanksgiving in our calendar and in our culture. And that's something that I find a little bit disturbing. One thing, of course, is Thanksgiving gives us a little buffer before we start having Santa in August, which is a little frustrating there. But more seriously, I think that we as a community, we as a culture should work on embracing our gratitude for what we have in this world and for what our lives are. It has occurred to me more than once that outside of days of personal tragedy, each and every one of us could take the worst day of our lives and give that day to someone else on this planet who would consider that to be the best day of their life. I think we need to contemplate what we have and the God who grants us those presents, those gifts, and go forth with gratitude in our hearts. One of the things that I thought was, I think is a very interesting juxtaposition of the calendar is last week, of course, was Veterans Day. And we had our Veterans Court ceremony Friday, and it was, as always, quite moving. And it strikes me that it is appropriate for us to contemplate the veterans and those who have fought so hard to make sure that we have the ability for this anniversary of our Constitution. But I think we need to have more gratitude, more of a thought in our minds that these are people that we need to not just say thank you to, but we need to accept that gratitude as part of our daily lives. And that is something I think that we should continue to do. Take this time before Christmas, and I think this sets us in the proper frame of mind to truly celebrate Christmas and to truly make sure that we understand what these seasons are about. They are not just shopping opportunities, but these are opportunities for us to express our gratitude for those around us. And I was a bit surprised at Commissioner Wagner's announcement, but certainly I think we owe you a great deal of gratitude for the job that you've done and the job that you continue to do. That does not let you off the hook for the next 13 months. We're going to.
I may totally blow it, so don't thank me now.
Well, we plan to work you like a dog, okay? We plan to just work you over a good little bit. But Commissioner Wagner and I have known each other for some years. And, before we get too far down that road, I just want to say that what an honor it has been to be able to work with you. We worked together a little bit in the private sector, of course, years ago. But I am always impressed at your intelligence and your diligence. So the fact that you have given us this amount of time that you've had is something that I'm certainly grateful for. And I would be remiss if I didn't say, yes, happy birthday, Jay Lawson. When we talk about gratitude, we talk about those of us sitting behind these, on these chairs and behind this dais. We would not be here doing the things that we are doing and able to look at the prosperity that we are able to work through. This is a good budget. This is very hopeful. This shows the direction that we're going. We would not be here but for the Jay Lawsons of this county. And so certainly we need to show appropriate gratitude towards Commissioner Lawson the first. With that, we are adjourned.